MULN stock reaching our implied targets, the bearish targets, that is. Now, what's going to happen with the price action for MULN? Well, let's go ahead and verify that within this video. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with an MULN price action and raw price action and technical thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. So we are looking at MULN on the 12-hour chart right over here, and we had mentioned the possibility or the potential of us actually reaching the 2.618 level at about 20.99. That's about 21 cents. We did surpass that just a bit, and now we are using it as a form of resistance. This is the 2.618 level at 20.99 right over here, and you can see that this candle has now used it as a form of resistance. In judging in price action, you can see that we do have an uptick of sell pressure. So there is a potential to where we can actually make up an upside to catch up with our moving averages. This is the 7-day exponential moving average. So there is a likelihood to where we can actually move up to the EMA 7 or the SMA 10. So let's go ahead and move up into bringing up some of those SMAs. Yeah, so there's the potential to where we can actually catch up to the EMA or SMA 10 before facing some downside and potentially using the 2.618 as a form of support before validating it and continuing on to the upside. Now, this is a bit of a challenge for traders like me because I tend to use historical volatility and momentum as a guide, or just historical data in general as a guide for my trades. Now, touching this 20-cent level down here today, this is price discovery to the downside. It's very difficult when we don't have any historical data back here within these low levels. So it's that leaves a little bit of a limitation into traders like me. But the technicals are, and raw price action is potentially signaling an upside move from this low. We are at a psychological point, and also we did get good news from the Fed minutes today, the FOMC minutes. Now we do have a 50 basis point on the table. This was regarding the CPI and PPI beat, the consumer price index and producer price index. Now, this can indicate a bullish outlook for the broader market spectrum, thus making specific companies under the NASDAQ and other and the S&P 500 and Dow things to go up, right? So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart to see what we have. Okay, so yeah, we can actually use the RSI profile now to gain bias for direction in the immediate short-term time frame. Now, this is for the new viewers. This is actually the diagram I have made for you to be able to see the zones of my RSI. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zones, 1, 2, 3, 4, right over here for you to be able to kind of tag along as I'm talking. Okay, so this is going to be the immediate short-term 30-minute, and we can, well, let me just make that a little. I'm going to dim it just a bit so that you can be able to see where the RSI signal line is. Okay, so yeah, so the RSI signal line is right at the border of the bear weakness percentile versus the bear strength percentile. When we're at this border, usually we can be faced with a gravitational pull right into the bear strength percentile. We are getting a slight uptick in the moving average, which means that this is likely a short-term pullback. But we're looking at such a short-term time frame here. But you know what? The 15-minute is also suggesting a bit of a downside, which could indicate that we can test our lowest level here before a continuation to the upside. So let's go ahead and keep on verifying that movement. Now, the buy hourly is suggesting an upside from an oversold percentile. It looks primed to cross the moving average, which would be bullish, but please keep in mind that it looks like we have been using this is the signal line and this is the moving average. It looks like we've been using the moving average as a guide to the way down or as a form of resistance. So we do have to keep that in mind as well. Okay. Now the 6-hour RSI is also suggesting a continuation to the upside from an oversold percentile, and the daily is suggesting downside well within the strength, the bear strength percentile. This is absolutely in bear grip here. So what is that telling me? That honestly is telling me that like what I said, we can actually face, based on the 6-hour and the bi-hourly RSI, pitched to the upside here, these two, we can actually see a potential test we have three forms of resistance, I'm sorry. So we have the EMA 7 at about 2307, which is confluent with the with the closing of this candle here. And we have the SMA 10, which is in confluence with the 272 at 2410. This 24 cents. Okay, so this means that we can actually potentially make this upside thrust, find resistance from the SMA 10, then come back and test our 618 at about 20.99 or 21 cents before continuation onto the upside. We would need, I would suggest, a higher term time frame closure of a 12-hour candle above the 618 level, minimum 4-hour candle before validation of support and continuation onto the upside to potentially test this resistance. Okay, so let's now look at the Crypstex indicators. So these are indicators that are made for traders like me. I have partnered with Crypstex Trading in creating 8 indicators that are similar to this one here. You are looking at ARC Armor here, and this indicator actually gives you a per se buy and sell signal. So you have a long position here, it goes up, you have a short, it goes down, and as you can see, we are printing a long position at the bottom of this trend from this massive short signal that we got, and it recovered to the upside, still didn't give you a long signal, and eventually came right back down to test a new lower low from this point. So now you can see here that we're starting to get that print for a long signal, and we're starting to get the waves starting to turn green. Now this is another indicator from Crypstex. This is the enhanced MACD, and the enhanced MACD has since printed a bullish outlook as well. It's in a sense another type of sell buy signal. Okay, so I think this is definitely looking a bit bullish. This is going to be a corrective move to the upside soon for MULN. Okay, so but we do have to face a couple obstacles in order for us to be able to continue on to a more respectable level. Okay, you guys, this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. These indicators are available to you. Just make sure to send me a DM and we'll talk the details as to how to acquire them. Okay, so with that said, I wish you a good night, and I will catch you at the bell on Friday. Please know one more thing, that I am definitely not a financial advisor. Okay, sorry for saying it so late. I can't actually suggest for you to sell or buy any assets. Okay, do your own DD and we'll be okay. But with that said, have a good night, and I will catch you on Friday at the bell. Adios.